Yeah, so this is just a quick review of the Kiev 6C, which is the same as the Kiev 6.0. So they're all kind of the same. This one, 1976, 1977, Russian, heavy as, built like a tank. But I've been really impressed with this camera. I grew up shooting 35mm SLRs, and so this was my first medium format camera, and it's an SLR. So, you know, I really embraced the format. I thought it was great. It's also got a waist level finder. If I can take this thing off. Yeah, so you got a waist level finder, which I don't use that often because I get all confused with that reverse, although I'm getting used to that now that I've got a Hasselblad and I've had an RB67. But I like the fact that it's just like an SLR. The only gripe I've really got about the thing is the shutter button. For some reason, they put it on the left-hand side, not the right-hand side. So normally you're used to winding on firing from here, but it's over this side, which is just a bit odd. Came with the Vega 12B 2.8 90mm lens, and if you look at that car shot, the black and white car shot, I've got as a sample. I just love how sharp that is. That was through that Vega 12B Russian lens, just so good. And I've bought a Carl Zeiss Flecticon 50mm, and that gives me the wide angle, and some of the New Zealand landscape shots, like the one of the river at Hamner Springs in New Zealand on the South Island, that's with that lens. So I find the difference between the 50mm and the 90mm is really good, but in terms of quality between the Carl Zeiss and the Russian Vega, it's hard to spot the difference. And if you flick through the photos like we're doing now, those shots of New Zealand around Lake Tekapo, the colours that it renders, it vignettes a little bit around the edges, but I'm not really upset about that. I kind of don't mind that. Being someone who grew up with photography and a little older, the vignetting something I'm familiar with. But the clarity of the lens, the way it renders colours, this machine is really, really easy to operate. You get great detail through either of the lenses. You can see there I've used it for portrait shots. That's of some kids at Halloween at the school where I work. Yeah, I just really, really am impressed with the camera. Loading it, pretty simple. It's like any other 35mm where you've got to open the bottom to get the top open. Get the back open. Where am I? I need some B-roll. There we go. And you open the back, and it looks like an SLR as well. You just put your fresh roll in here, roll it over to your next spool, lock it all in with these bottom locks for each side, and away you go. And yeah, this thing really, really serves me really well. I couldn't be happy with the camera. Easy to take the lenses off. You don't have to worry about making sure that your shutter's cocked like you do with a Hasselblad or an RB. They just slot straight in. Really, really simple system. It's got a ring around the outside that you just lock it in, and there we go. This is the Prism Finder, which turns the image round to normal. Not much more I can tell you about them apart from the fact they're built like a tank. I know people have issues with the Kiev sometimes, but I've had no issue with this camera whatsoever, and I was going to sell it to fund my Hasselblad, but I've started shooting again, and I'm not going to get rid of it. I really like the camera, so I'm going to hang on to it. Cost me a couple of $100 with the Vega. The Carl Zeiss cost me about another $180. I think now I've seen them going for as much as $600 in Australia, so they're obviously going up in value, which I find surprisingly. Don't be alarmed buying them from the Eastern Bloc, like mine came all the way from Kiev. Most of them that you'll see listed on eBay will come from Russia. I had no problems whatsoever. I was a bit hesitant. Took about 3 weeks to arrive and came wonderfully packaged, so I can't complain. So yeah, recommend, 10 out of 10.